Hello, I'm Dan Nevans for the National Piping Centre and Piping Live, and this is a virtual come and try. The first thing you're going to need is something to play on. So this is a practice chanter. This is what we call a long practice chanter. They come in various sizes. This is a standard. Okay, so most folk will have one of these, but I like playing one of these. It's a bit closer to the finger sizing you would get for a full-size chanter. What you should know first of all is how your practice chanter works. We have our chanter top here. We're going to blow through this end. We're going to create air pressure in this chamber here, which is going to cause this reed, the two blades either side, to vibrate against each other, creating sound. That sound travels down the chanter. The closer we are to the reed, the higher the pitch is. The further away, the lower the pitch is. And that's generally how the whole instrument works. So, what's your practice chanter? And if you don't have a practice chanter, any cylindrical object, in fact, it doesn't even have to be cylindrical. It can be the edge of a desk, side of a book, whatever. The important thing here is keeping the fingers right. So, with your practice chanter, you're going to first off start with your left hand. So left thumb is going to go in the hole in the back. That's going to close off our top note. And then we're going to use the index, middle and ring fingers of the left hand to close down the front three holes at the top. Once you've done that, if you give your chanter a toot, you're going to get our middle note of our chanter scale. So that's a D. We'll come back to that in a minute. Right hand. Might seem counterintuitive to do this second, but what I'm going to say is even more counterintuitive. You're not going to lead with your index finger. Don't worry about your index finger just now. You're going to lead with the pinky. It'll make sense in a second. When you go to put your right hand on, right thumb on the back, and then right pinky on the very bottom hole there. And if you look, you'll see how far across my pinky is. I'm really covering that hole. Now, the thing you're going to want to do here is, your hand's going to tell you to come at the chanter this way, leading with your index finger, but you're going to come in and use your pinky finger. And then you're going to drop your fingers down flat. Okay, so this is where we're going to end up with all holes closed. My left hand's coming in at a bit of an angle because of the way that I'm holding the chanter. It would normally be a little straighter like that when I'm playing it. There's a rule I like to use for this, and I call it the cheese toasty rule, or depending where you are in the world, that might be Monte Cristo. A big sandwich, right? Specifically anything with melted cheese in it. Your finger's going to be flat, like you're holding a sandwich. You don't hold sandwiches like this or that, or depending on how fast you're eating them, I suppose. So yeah, you're going to keep the fingers flat, and you never push down. If you push down, all that melted cheese is going to spray out the sides and get all over the place. So that's the rules. You keep your fingers flat, and you don't squeeze down. When you're playing pipes, you always release your hands away. All movements are releasing movements. So, yeah, that's us. We've got everything covered now. So now we can talk about notes. On the bagpipe, we talk about having a range of 9 melody notes. We start with our lowest note, a low G. You'll notice in my chanter I've got these holes in the side. We call them sound holes. That's where the G comes out. If you've got a standard size practice chanter, just the bottom will be the lowest note. So we're going to have a G with everything closed. Now, much like the whistle or anything else, we're going to be lifting fingers to get higher pitches here. So we're going to raise the right pinky finger to give us a low A. Then we're going to raise the right ring finger to give us a B. Middle finger up, pinky finger down to give us a C. Index finger up gives us a D. Now we're going to change to the left hand. Very important thing here. You're going to have to keep your right pinky finger up whenever you play any of the notes of the left hand. So you're going to raise your right hand off, your left ring finger off, close the middle 3 notes. So that's the ring, middle and index finger of your right hand, and that gives us a true E. Middle finger up for an F, index finger up for a high G, and then, we'll turn this here, thumb off, ring finger on to give us a high A. Now, you might be sitting there at home thinking, Dan, that is a weird way of making pitch shapes. You're right, it is. That style of finger work is about 1,000 years old, possibly older. It's referred to as descant. In Central Europe, all our woodwind brothers, they open things up one finger at a time. They don't have to create extra shapes. It's more to do with pressure than it is with your individual finger shapes. The way the bagpipe is formed I should say, the way that the chanter is formed on the bagpipe, the tuning is best set with this descant style of fingerwork. It's one of the things that makes the Great Highland bagpipe unique amongst its peers. So yeah, that's the notes of our scale. Low G, everything closed, pinky finger up for an A, ring finger up for a B, middle finger up, pinky down for the C, index finger up for the D. Changing to E, we're going to lift the right pinky finger and the left ring finger together, drop the middle 3 fingers for an E, middle finger up for an F, index finger up for a high G, and then thumb off, ring finger on for the high A. There's another rule here. It's called make the new note before you close the old note. So regardless of what pitch you're going to from one end of the chanter to another, you're always going to make the new note before you close the old note. If you do it in that order, you'll get a clean transition that will only need to be made more fluid to get speed. Always remember, accuracy provides speed. Speed does not provide accuracy. So let's hear those notes. Yeah, I'll do that from both sides so you can see what my hands are doing. So here we are from my right. And again from the left. What's incredible about this instrument and the art that surrounds it is that we have 9 melody notes and an infinite amount of melodies. Okay, kind of like those computer keypads that only have 10 digits on them, but you can get an infinite amount of numbers. With only 9 notes, we can make a nearly infinite amount of melodies. So that's the practice chanter, that's the very beginning of it. Let's talk a bit about the bagpipe now. So the bagpipe is composed of about 15 parts. Our bag, we have 5 stalks, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have our chanter, the melody maker, our blow stick, where we're going to put air into the bagpipe. We have 3 bottom joints, 2 tenor and 1 bass, 1 mid joint, the top of the bass top, middle tenor and end tenor top joint. How we operate the bagpipe, we've got to remember that the bagpipe's purpose is to continually make noise. So from the time you start the instrument to when you stop it, you're going to make continuous sound in between. It's what we refer to as a legato instrument. It's a very, very rare form. Most instruments fall under the category of staccato, okay, where they start and stop all the time. The bagpipe has 3 main limitations. We've got a fixed range of melody notes, those 9 notes we just went through. We don't get louder and quieter, and we don't stop and start. So once you're up, that's you plugged in for the whole performance. We have 4 reeds. Okay, we've got 3 drone reeds, 2 tenor and 1 bass, and a chanter reed. They pretty much work the same as the reed in the practice chanter. So air pressure builds up, forces the blades to vibrate, and that's what makes the sound. We can change the pitch of the sound by extending or retracting the tops of the drones, or moving the reed up and down in the seat of the chanter. There's more other fine-tuning methods, but we won't get into that just now. The nature of the relationship between the chanter and the drones is we have 3 octaves, 3 series of 8 notes. So on the chanter, our highest pitch is the high A. You go 8 notes below that and you get a low A. You go 8 notes below that and you get a tenor drone, and a further 8 notes, you get the bass. So that's A to A, 1 octave, A to tenor A, 2nd octave, tenor A to bass A, 3rd octave. So that's the relationship. That's how we get that quality of sound. And whenever I strike up the pipes in a minute, and you'll hear it, what we're trying to achieve is 3 layers of sound, from the bass to the tenor to the chanter, that are supportive of the melody. So if you're working on tuning your pipes yourself, you're trying to get as smooth a sound as you can possibly get. If it's not smooth, it's not right. So power in the bagpipe is a really important thing. You may see pictures, videos of pipers playing, and they're purple in the face. The true powering of the bagpipe comes from your stomach. The easiest way to think about this is if we think of it as a clock face, that midnight point is where we're going to blow to activate reeds. When you get to about 4 o'clock, you're going to be ready to take a breath and you're going to activate the arm. You're going to bring the arm in and match pressure. Then you can take a big controlled breath, and when you're ready, you're going to blow against the pressure of the arm, match pressure, and use that to fill up the bag, and that's going to maintain pressure all the way through. So the important thing here is you never stop pressure. You don't go from blowing to squeezing like, okay, it's not like hitting a switch. You're going to cross over all the time. So the pressure never drops. The way it was always explained to me is you're going to fuel the pipe by blowing it, and you're going to power it with your arm. Okay? And that's the mysterious secrets of how you keep a bagpipe steady. So what I'll do is I'll strike these things up and show you these things in action. Oh, before I forget, earplugs, an absolute must. Okay, whether you're just starting out or you've been playing for a long time, earplugs are definitely useful for pipers. And it's not just about the level of noise that we create. It's not about the dynamic range. It's about being able to discern the harmonics of the bagpipe. Those little background noises that can take a pipe from sounding just good to sounding world class. Earplugs are the answer. So. Thanks very much for watching. I've been Dan Nevans for the National Piping Centre and Piping Live. Happy piping.